You've seen them. Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, the whole bunch. They're everywhere. On social media, on podcasts, in the public eye. They promise to fix you, to teach you how to be a real man, to achieve power, dominance, and success. But there's a glaring truth behind their rhetoric. They're deeply unhappy people. And here's the thing. They're selling you an ideology that leads nowhere. A dead-end path where the more you follow, the more you remain bitter, insecure, and hateful. Let's break this down. Let's go back to the core of what the Enlightenment stood for. The pursuit of reason, personal liberty, and universal human dignity. And see how these self-help gurus are the antithesis of it all. The Enlightenment was the intellectual revolution that started in the 17th century. Think of it as the great awakening of human reason. Thinkers like John Locke, Voltaire, and Jean-Jacques Rousseau challenged the oppressive systems of monarchy and the church, emphasizing the importance of individual rights, critical thinking, and societal progress. They believed in the fundamental goodness of humanity, and that we could all be better if we used our reason and our empathy to understand one another. Central to the Enlightenment was the idea that society should evolve, that we should make room for personal freedom and dignity, not oppression or control. And importantly, the Enlightenment taught us that we should never stop questioning, never stop improving. Not just ourselves, but the entire system around us. We are not stuck in place. We can change. We can grow. Now, contrast that with the messages pushed by Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, and their ilk. What are they selling? Power, domination, a rigid, reactionary view of masculinity that confines men to outdated roles of aggression and control. According to them, to be a real man, you need to be strong, ruthless, and unemotional. You need to conquer everything and everyone around you. And in their world, that means putting women in their place, reinforcing toxic gender norms, and rejecting empathy. But here's the truth. This ideology is a dead end. Sure, they promise that if you follow their advice, you'll become rich, successful, and respected. But the real result is bitterness, insecurity, and loneliness. Why? Because they offer no genuine path to personal growth. They don't teach you to understand yourself or others. They teach you to exploit and dominate. Let's talk about what's really going on. These men are selling unhappiness. Andrew Tate, for example, brags about his wealth, his status, and his ability to manipulate people. But you can see it in his eyes. It's hollow. He's trapped in a cycle of consumption and competition. He's obsessed with power, not because it's fulfilling, but because he is terrified of being seen as weak, unworthy, or irrelevant. What does that say about his mental state? What does it say about the message he's selling? They say they want to make you better, but they're really just feeding off your insecurities. They prey on your desire to be validated, to feel powerful, to fit into a society that devalues true emotional intelligence and human connection. But at the end of the day, they don't want you to grow. They want you to stay stuck in a toxic cycle of comparison and self-doubt. Now, let's compare this with the true path to self-actualization. The Enlightenment thinkers didn't believe in domination. They believed in the power of reason, compassion, and community. They taught that true power comes not from controlling others, but from understanding yourself, from elevating those around you, and from building a society based on mutual respect and empathy. Imagine if we lived by those principles. What would the world look like if we moved beyond the lies of alpha dominance and embraced the Enlightenment ideal of progress? What if we stopped fearing our emotions, stopped trying to control others, and started to really connect, to truly understand each other and grow together? That's the real path to fulfillment, not the empty promises of self-help gurus, but the deep, fulfilling work of questioning, understanding, and evolving. So what do? First, we reject the toxic ideologies of self-help gurus. We see them for what they are, empty and destructive. Then, we look inward. We ask ourselves, how can I be a better person? How can I create a world based on empathy, reason, and progress? How can I leave behind the bitterness and hatred and find peace in growth? True strength isn't about dominating others. It's about mastering yourself. It's about creating a life built on understanding, not oppression. That's the path to true power. The power of reason, compassion, and progress. And it's a path that leads to happiness, not insecurity, not hatred. So if you're looking for something real, something that will make you truly happy, reject the empty promises of the self-help gurus. Don't fall for their dead-end ideology. Embrace the Enlightenment, the power of reason, of empathy, and of real transformative growth. Because at the end of the day, that's the only path that leads to true fulfillment. Remember this: true strength isn't in dominating others. It's in lifting them up and lifting yourself along the way.